Come on, everybody loves the video. Everybody loves that
Everybody loves the video.
All right, NRA annual meetings with Ruger and someone else coming up. But you're going to have to hang on for that. We got Tabor Bright and Matt Wilson with us. Welcome in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Your booth has to be one of the busiest I've seen. What's going on over there? What are you guys doing? Just hanging out?
Well,
free booze?
It's a lot of guns.
Yeah.
And a lot of guns people want.
Yeah.
Which is a great problem to have, right?
Yeah.
It's, we've had some interesting few years, and then, we're coming off of American Gen 2 and our new pistol platform, the RXM, and we've got all these great things going on right now, carbon fiber 1022s. And
that's a phenomenal one. My gosh.
Yeah.
So why don't y'all – you guys do a really good job, though, of innovating and bringing out the next good thing. Why, I guess, is my question, because –
well,
I mean, just keep doing the same thing, right?
I mean, carbon fiber is super cool.
Yeah.
We've had a tension barrel before in the 1022, and it shoots well. It's stiffer, it's lighter. But we've gotten to the point of maturity with carbon fiber and finding a way to get it in a gun. We have two different models, right? So a Magpul stock that's just insanely light, 3.5 pounds unloaded, and then a really fancy custom shop that includes that same carbon barrel.
That's the one that's
receiver,
that's the one that's in the office, and we love it.
The gray birch stock.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful gun. And just, I mean, that's a gun that you can take out, you can show off to your friends, and that's going to hook them, and especially kids. My gosh, what kid wouldn't want to shoot that gun?
You asked a question about why this or why that now and why now. If you look at some of our engineers and some of our product managers and project managers and things like that, we have some of those guys are coming in are a little bit younger generation, so some of the older folks are moving out. They did a great job for us over the years, but now it's time to bring some life into the 75 years of heritage that Ruger has and modernize it. Carbon fiber and modular and all of those things, and that's what's gotten us to today.
Well, and that's the only way we're going to grow is to move forward and use new technologies like what you guys are doing and develop those processes.
Absolutely.
So, I'm not sure if I'm the young new guy or the
old
guy in this, but there's a space for all of it. And 1022 is versatile. It fills all those roles really well.
Who doesn't have a 1022? And who isn't looking to get a new one? Right? Come on.
It seems like at every retailer promotion that one of us goes to, you always get 3 or 4 guys going, I've got 9 of those. And you bring out the next, whether it's the wild boar carved stock or the owl or the whatever it is, I got to have one of those, or and now, you've got a takedown, and now I got to have that. Now the gray birch chassis gun's out, the carbon fiber's out.
The chassis one's pretty sweet, too. I'm not going to lie, it shoots, too. Are guys starting to gravitate towards that, like at your longer range matches, your 22, NRL 22s, stuff like that?
So it depends on how serious you are, what you're looking to do. But it could be steel challenge for, like, the gray birch is fine.
That's true.
But on a precision rimfire, we see people doing, small bore, 3-position, the NRL 22 type stuff. Yeah. It's whatever gun you like the looks of that fills the role, even if it's not the perfect gun. You can always make it your own. And you get that chance to get into a sport, get into the game, think, maybe I want a handguard that does X, Y, Z.
Right.
Maybe MLOC alone isn't enough. I need ARCA. And you can do that with all these platforms. We're really trying to grow this environment.
You're giving every person what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially is what you're doing with the whole line.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job at it.
That's the goal.
I would say that. Okay. Now we've gone from the 1022. Let's move into what is near and dear to my heart right now, and it's the RPR.
Okay.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
So
that's out and available in many different calibers.
We've done some updating.
Got a new butt stock.
Yes, easily. The adjustability on that is so simple.
Yeah.
I love it. But I'm taking one, and one of my favorite calibers, and I know people across they're going to be making fun of me. I know, but it's the GT, the 6 GT. What was whose idea was it to be like, okay, we're going to produce that in a 6GT, because there's not a lot of guns out there in that caliber.
I think we can probably give credit to Doug Koenig or Blame and probably be safe.
Yes.
So, Doug, 20-time Bianchi Cup champion.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, get a little bit of a big deal.
We're not trying to grow his head on this. Like, we're not trying to expand it. But he's kind of a big deal.
A little bit.
It was his baby?
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
But
he brought it to us, as I understand it, he brought it to us because he wanted to shoot it in official competition. But in order for him to do that, it has to be a production gun.
I know, and that's what I'm shooting at.
That's where the idea started.
I'm so glad you guys did that.
And, having traveled some with Doug for a different project, I've gotten a 6GT education, and I'm just waiting for my RPR and 6GT to come in.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we just happened to get in it because we're filming it for Guns and Gear. And I spent some time with it on the range, and it is so flat shooting. It shoots like dime size at 200. Like, this thing shoots. Yeah. And that's the beauty of the 6GT, and to produce it in the RPR is just phenomenal.
And we need to give a little bit of credit to Hornady on that with bringing those rounds back and having a couple offerings in it, and that's the ammo support for any of those hybrid cartridges.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. Just in testing and getting it to market, and then making sure shooters have availability to get the stuff. And Hornady's done a great job doing that.
Well, that's what I'm shooting in the match. I'm shooting factory ammo. I'm not shooting reloads. I'm shooting factory everything. So that's the division that I wanted to compete in, but I didn't have a gun that I felt comfortable with. And my first PRS match was with an RPR, an original. And I'm telling you, that shot just as good as this one. But this one, it's heavier. It seems like it's more durable, but it maintains the heritage of the RPR that you guys developed.
Yeah, and if 6GT isn't your thing, it's still 6 Creedmoor, 6.5, 308, the Magnum still, so the 300 PRC, 300 Win Mag, and 338 Lapua. But
who's buying that?
I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
It's a lot, and it's people who genuinely.
I like recoil.
And they like to shoot, and they're taking long range. So it's not the guy shooting 6.5 at 100 yards. These guys are getting out and putting the work in.
They're putting it out to 16, 17, 1,800 yards, and it's those guys.
Yep.
But across the board, barrels got heavier, so we're a larger contour the whole way. It makes a huge difference on how the gun feels in the hand.
Yep.
The toggle switches or clamps being gone on the buttstock is great. You still have all those same adjustments. They're easier.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Much easier.
Still folds. Still feels good. We've got a new coating on the bolt that's just slick and stays that way. And then a new muzzle brake to go with it that seems to work exceptionally well.
The 6GT is not a thumper anyway, but to mitigate that control, to call your shots downrange with an efficient muzzle brake is 100% the goal. Like, that's what you strive for, right? And you guys have done it.
And at the very least, it's a really pretty gun.
It's
the
beautiful.
smoke bronze is in. Everyone likes it. It presents really well.
Oh, with the red accents too on the gray one. Like that's one I've got, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm all for it. Now let's talk something very near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Is the collaboration between Ruger and Magpul.
That was, it's funny how that all started. I've talked a little bit about this. I have one of my counterparts, Brady Dinsmore. We're always brainstorming. We want to know, what can we do next? Mm-hmm. He's like, why don't we get Magpul to make us the polymer lower on whatever the next pistol is for us? And that started, I think, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And then we mentioned it. It kind of got lukewarm response, and then it gained momentum. And the next thing we knew, we were in a sales meeting in Denver with Drake. And then here we are today. And
I would say the hit of the year across the industry was the launch of the RXM. And we had it out to our facilities, ran it through 2 or 3 days, 8,400 rounds, no stoppages, dunking in water.
Hold on, let me correct you. 8,800 rounds.
It was 8,800 rounds.
No stoppages, dropping it in ice water.
Yeah.
And that gun is still in R&D somewhere.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Still has the pink grip tape around it?
I'm sure it has.
You're like, we cannot lose track of this one because it is a gun that most guys are not going to get 8,800 rounds through their gun. They're just not. That's not, like when they buy a gun, they're going to take it to the range every once in a while. They'll train with it maybe once or twice a year, and then they just let it sit.
And here's the funny part. After that 8,800 round gun, we actually made a few small changes, and the gun got better.
Why? How is that possible? Because when we got it, and you were like, "Whoa, don't launch that video yet," and we're like, "Why not?" It's not ready. How is it not ready when it can do all that, go through that abuse? Because it was constantly running through the whole thing.
So the reality is, when you partner with somebody like a Magpul, and you're helping represent the greatest polymer accessory company in the industry, you got to get it right out the gate. You can't ship a bunch and, oh, no, we need to make a change, bring them back. So we took the gamble, made a few more small changes, slowed production yet again, and then hit it hard. And, up until about 30 days before we officially launched, 7 of us, right?
Yeah, and 7 Ruger, some Magpul, a broad group of shooters.
And we shot in the period of about 8 hours over 2 days between gun sight and our range at the plant. We shot about 30,000 rounds.
Really?
And we had some failures, but minute. I mean, and then we made a couple small adjustments and hit the ground running.
Jeez. I still don't. I still don't. Maybe, like, you guys know the ins and outs of it, but it still functioned flawlessly and held together at the end because, we got through, 7,200 rounds, and we're like, well, let's let Chris, really see if this gun's holding its point of aim and making sure it's still grouping good. Shot just like it came out of the box through that many rounds. And, not a lot of guns can say that.
And now what's fun is watching all the keyboard pirates and the social media guys and stuff, is they're trying.
You out there. I see you out there.
And now what's exciting is, including the one I have on my belt, is they're stippling frames, they're changing trigger shoes and all of these different things and playing with different sights and, getting
They're making it theirs.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And it's still going to run.
Yeah.
Just as good. So you're not going to need much of it. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about a collaboration. I'm going to kick you out.
I'm all for it.
There is a collaboration that's really kind of just now getting sent out into the sphere, and it has to do with this. Doesn't look like a traditional Ruger gun, right?
It's not.
Isn't. All right, let's get Ben in here and let's have a little conversation because this is far different than what you expect from Ruger, and I guess it's what you should expect from Ruger because you guys.
Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Ben Backmeier, my sensei in the suppressor world.
We've had Ben on the show before, and he is a wizard when it comes to, and Dead Air is too. Dead Air, they know suppressors.
So, just so everybody understands.
Why and how, what, when, where, and why?
So, about 4 years ago, Ruger's ability to make the suppressors that they offered at that time sort of became non-existent because of a whole attrition of things, COVID and people retiring and just resources in general.
Right.
So I had just gotten Silencer Shop really up and running for us. And all of a sudden, I no longer have suppressors to sell them. I'm like, okay, I got to react quickly. The first thought I had was Dead Air because Ernie Beckwith and I, and then Tony Tarantino and John Pashone, we have a lot of miles together in a previous life in the industry, from shooting to trade, all of it. We've done all that, and I'm like, for me, it's all everything in doing partnerships like this is about the relationship between the two, and I'm like, that's low-hanging fruit. 4 years later, here we are. Now, that sounds like a long time to develop. Believe me, these guys did an amazing job developing very quickly, but this is something that's way new for Ruger and for Dead Air, and getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed and keeping, publicly traded shareholders happy and board members happy, and here we are.
Well, they're going to be jacked about this because I'm jacked about it, and I almost know diddly squat about suppressors.
Oh, come on.
I know a good amount, maybe more than the average guy, but what you guys are producing right here, it's going to shake up the industry a little bit.
Already has.
See? It already has. So, Ben, walk us through the RXD.
Well, so we have the first one we have is the RXD 22 Ti, okay, which is it's our rimfire offering. It's really optimized for 22 LR, but you can range all the way up to 5.7 if you want to.
Okay.
Right? We're incorporating a lot of technology into this. The one thing that we really want to hammer on is that we are not just making B-level products. This is a fully fledged, from the ground up, purpose-built silencer, right? It is a newly innovative product that we had to look hard in our own product line and also to find synergies in both product lines to be like, where can we create something that is brand new, that Dead Air has never done before?
Right.
And what we came up with was the RXD 22 Ti.
Well,
so we were able to incorporate 3D printing with a little bit of traditional machining to deliver a silencer that has 4 components and is better than anything we have right now.
He starts tearing this thing up, and I'm going to tell you right now, like, this thing is different. Like, and when Ben says create, that's what he's talking about, something that's not just, a core, a monocore, or you just have a bunch of baffles, stack them on top of each other, and you're good to go. When he starts breaking this thing down, you're going to go, huh. And every little cut has a purpose, and I'm going to let you walk through that. So you do you.
All right. So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to incorporate a muzzle adapter system to it, something that we had never really done in 22 LR before or anything like that. And so what we came up with was the XRF muzzle device. It's a muzzle brake, and it actually acts, one of the patents that we have on it is that it acts as a lead catching device. Because of what we're doing, most of your lead is going to catch your lead there and in your initial blast chamber, which is going to be easier to clean than if your lead gets all the way down across the other baffles and its components.
Which, if you've spent any time cleaning a 22 can, it's
tedious.
It's basically hell on earth. Like, it sucks. And you're not going to get it all. It's just, this is the way it is. The 22s are nasty. They're dirty. But because I can clean that.
You can. Yeah. Right, and it's
easy.
It's 17.4, right? It's been melanited or nitride, and then the core itself, everything is right-handed.
Thank you.
Your tube comes off, and there's your actual core. And so the core is 3D printed 6AL4V titanium, right? It's a really high grade, and then you have a tube, right? And so there's your basic disassembly.
Right.
You can take the front cap off if you want to. You don't, unless you're really field stripping it and going and cleaning it, you don't really need to. The other benefit to the core is that it is PVD'd. Okay. So the entire core has that lubricious layer, which is going to help the lead and carbon and copper not stick to it. And then ultimately, you'll see that there's a lot of different porting in the entire product. And
that's what I noticed through first, is that there's so much porting, there's so much going on with that, and that all of those it all works together.
It does, and so there's a cage around it that's going to help with port pop if you have it just on like a 22 or something. And then underneath that you can see through that on all those different access points. And we did that such that you can actually get any fluid, or if you want to use a burnishing compound from your reloading set to clean it, just throw it in. Just make sure you remove your O-ring.
Right.
If you want to use an ultrasonic tank, you can do that. So there's multiple different methods, and if you want to do it the old-fashioned way with a little bit of elbow grease, you can do that.
Yeah. So I just can't get over how easy this is going to be to clink. So you said a rotary tumbler, throw it in there, let it run.
Just let it run. Yep. And that's
because most of your lead's getting caught by this.
Yep.
So if a guy wanted to turn it into a quick detach.
Let's
talk about that.
So this has a 20-degree taper angle on it, which is very steep. So for those of you who want to run it as a direct thread, all you got to do is take the 2 supplied wrenches that we ship in the box with it, okay? And all you're going to do is just torque that to the core.
Okay.
Right? And now it's direct thread. And if you want to do it the other way, like every other QD, just torque the muzzle device to your barrel.
To your barrel.
Yep.
Can they order multiple of these?
Yes, and then we're also making it in metric 10x1.
No kidding.
Yep.
Dude, y'all thought of everything on this sucker.
www.shopruger.com.
All right. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
So no, and really the things you're seeing here is exactly why I wanted to partner with them, because everybody looks at Ruger as this stoic, ancient, all this American heritage. And what was important for me is to partner with the right people that were sort of on that cutting edge of technology, because that's how you bring solid integrity to a partnership like that. Is that your partner's got to be top of their game.
Well, they got to hold up their end of the bargain too.
Absolutely.
And when you bring someone in like a Dead Air or a Magpul, people start taking notice and go, "Oh, they're serious. Like this is a real thing."
Absolutely.
Because if you go to a run of the mill, like people aren't going to pay attention. When they start producing this, it's really cool.
I also think, that the success of the Magpul partnership helped to pave the road for the Dead Air partnership.
Yeah.
I really do. Just from a marketing standpoint, from a learning how to work together, because working with a publicly traded company isn't always easy.
You don't say. Come on.
I wish that weren't the case, but and Magpul paved the way for a lot of that and led us into this, and we couldn't be happier at this point.
Oh, I'd be thrilled.
And they've been official 32 hours now or something to that effect.
It's that new, folks. It's that new. What else can we expect? So, because I know there's got to be more than just 22s out there, right?
Funny you should ask that.
It's like I knew there was something coming. I got it. This one really gets me going because it looks the part, and I'm going to tell you right now that has PRS, NRL, hunting, like all those components attract me to this one.
So this is, there's things that Ruger does really well. Hunting rifles, target rifles, and we do the tactical stuff okay. And that's
better than most.
Most, but that's not our bread and butter, and it's not really where we're great.
Right.
So we knew in the early conversations that being hunting-centric was really where we needed to be, because it makes sense with the success of American Centerfire Gen 2 and new RPRs and all of those things. We knew that's where we needed to be.
Right. Well, this is it. Now, which one is this one?
This is the RXD 30 Ti.
All right.
So,
lay it on me. I want to hear it. I want them to hear it. But it's important. Tune in.
We really wanted to focus, just as Tabor said, we really wanted to focus on hunting, the precision rifle, really the things that are going to operate really well on bolt-action rifles, straight pulls, pumps, things like that, right? And we really wanted to go to really the biggest that we could on 30 cal, which is your 300 PRC. It'll work with your other 300 Magnums and everything, and you can go all the way down to a 20-inch barrel with it, right? So, which is pretty short for a Magnum, right? And so we incorporated something that we really wanted to incorporate in it that we've not done on any of our 3D printed cans yet. So we have a product that's called the E-Brake, which is an attachment that goes on the front that helps reduce recoil. We just wanted to print it into the can. And so the venting on the front is taking high-pressure gas out of the system and venting it radially, and it's going to give you about 42 to 45% recoil reduction over a bare muzzle.
Okay, so what that means for me, when I hear all that, I know he thinks way different than I do, but as a shooter, and especially at distances, you're going to be able to see that trace. You're going to be able to call your shot better because there's less recoil.
Yep.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
That's why this is so important.
I mean, I shoot a lot of Magnum cartridges, so I just like my shoulder not hurting.
Yeah. Well, there's that. If that's it, if that's your thing, if heavy recoil is your thing, we appreciate you watching up to this point.
There's two other really big ones that we incorporated into it. And so on the back end, we incorporated something that is called our new direct thread brake mount. It is a hub compatible inch and 3/8 24 adapter.
Okay.
That is like a direct thread adapter, like our LT series direct thread adapters, but it has an actual machined-in muzzle brake portion, and that's there to basically redirect gas away from that blast baffle. That's going to extend the service life of your blast baffle, which is going to keep your silencer sounding better for longer. And to get the same thing, if you were to do that in, say, like any of our Xeno, it's you do that with a Xeno adapter and a Xeno brake, it'd be an ounce heavier. So it's the lightest weight and best possible solution that we could give.
See, I was telling Ryan about this the other day, and I was like, look, if a company wanted to do something like this, and I described this exact same thing. I had no clue. Thank you, by the way, Tabor. I emailed him and was like, hey, what's the RXD? Never got back to me. So I thought it was a gun. And then they bring this, and I'm like, you've got to be.
Let me explain myself.
No, you left me completely in the dark.
I absolutely left him in the dark, but there's about 35 other people that got left in the same dark room because.
Well, I will tell you this. We were all in that same dark room, and once the light came on, it was like a breath of fresh air because I was like, that's new, that's innovative, and to have something like this that I was just describing, like to Ryan, and to see you guys were doing it already is refreshing because you're listening to people.
And that's, you bring up a great point. It's something, the traffic in the booth today is people are just really impressed with listening to what they have to say, taking into effect, we want things lighter and more agile, and they like the fact that we've partnered with really good, solid, reputable companies.
Yeah. All right. What else is going on? Because I know there's so much going on in that.
Oh, you're good. I like it. I'm really happy that we're working with Ruger. I really am. One of the things that we wanted to do to kind of help differentiate things is things that you'll notice on the all RXD products that we do is you're going to see some sort of wrench flat. Every component will have a feature on it such that any commercial tool will work on it.
Nice.
All right.
You don't have a specialty tool that you're like, oh, man, I left it at home.
We're going to ship with wrenches and stuff in the box so that you can do it right out of the box. But so for the direct thread brake mount, that's sized for a 13/16" socket. So open-ended wrench, socket, whatever you have, it's got that. Plus it's got our TL tool feature wrenches on it. The front end cap, which is actually a flash hiding front end cap.
Okay.
Right? Good for preservation of night vision if you're doing any of the varmint hunting or anything like that on hogs or coyotes. And then it's sized for an 11/16" socket for open-ended wrench. And so you don't have to necessarily, if you forget the tools that ship with it, you can go to the back of your truck and you can go to your Craftsman tool set and
it's going to be available.
It's available, right? And so that was something that we really wanted to incorporate into it. And now we have a phenomenally good sounding can. The other big thing that we're really trying to get after is our tone. Yeah. Trying to get after a low bass tone, somewhere in the low frequency range, just to make, because it sounds good, right? You could have 130 decibels of nails on a chalkboard, or you could have 130 decibels of like a subwoofer driving by in a car, and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't sound that bad, right? But nails on a chalkboard sounds terrible. So
got that right. I never thought of it like that. But when you put it like that, that would suck. I don't mind a little bass.
The last thing, these are all R-Series compatible with our end caps, so they're compatible with all of the dead air stuff that we have and normally sell. So
I never expected anything less. Thank you for leaving me in the dark, but bringing it to light. I know I appreciate the surprise because that's a really cool way to do it.
We wanted to shock the game, so to speak.
Congratulations, you did it. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, wait, what? Hold on. Like, I had to do like a triple take. So, no, you guys are teaming up, I think, is brilliant, and especially from the Dead Air and Ruger. Like, it's awesome.
It's been fantastic so far.
It's going to keep going that way. So check it. Hey, where can they get these? ShopRuger.com? Is that going to be there?
No, so you'll need to go through a standard NFA retailer. Yep. All of the two-step distribution chain that Ruger's a part of, they'll purchase the suppressor directly from Dead Air. Yep. Keeps it very clean and simple as far as transfers and NFA and all of those things. But you'll get full customer support from an information standpoint from either company. At some point, as things grow and production capabilities become possible, you'll see more of the XRFs and the other adapters. And really a full line of dead air accessories show up on the shopruger.com.
That's cool.
Here in the next 6 months, let's say.
We have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, you do. But it's good work.
It's good work.
And it's honest.
This is a credit to these guys.
Yeah.
Everything up until about 120 days ago was really office minutia.
Really?
The true solid development of these two suppressors happened in a very, very short window of time.
No kidding.
These guys pulled up from the suppressor design to the R&D and the testing they did is quite extensive. To the packaging that the ink is drying on as we speak, they did all of it in a very truncated period of time, and I couldn't say better things about them.
Well, and if it's any testament to how these things are going to do, people want these. They're asking for them, and they're already they're going out they're gonna go out the door quickly.
Most of the first production run are already spoken for. I want to say it's at about 90% is already spoken for. But don't fret. There's more coming. You're just going to have to be patient.
Yes. Just like anything else.
Yep.
All right. The RXD, the RPR, the RXM, the Ruger 1022 Carbon Light. Man, Ruger, Dead Air, they got it all.
For more great gun content, subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. You can also watch the Gun Talk channels on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon. And of course, you can always find us at guntalk.com. Thanks for watching.